Hi, welcome to today's reading. Today we are going to be receiving urgent messages from our collective trans ancestors. As usual, I do anticipate that this would be more helpful for those of us that identify as trans, non-binary, or queer in some way. However, this is open to anyone's ancestors, so that includes maybe your ancestors that you do know or don't know are trans, that you can connect with here in today's reading, as well as many people who are famously trans all over the world and those that maybe didn't get to live long enough to let us know that they are trans. I want to introduce you to today's piles, so let's start with pile number 1. Pile number 1 with the blue aquamarine. Pile number 2 with the pink tourmaline. Pile number 3 with the semicolon pen. Pile number 4 with the crystal Moon Tiara magic pen. Pile number 5 with this very buttery smooth pink quartz. Okay, I invite you to take a deep breath and quiet your mind. As you quiet your mind, it will be pretty easy to pick the pile that you are the most curious about. Go ahead and scroll down to the link in my bio where you will see timestamps correlating with each of the piles that I have here now. I'm going to light these candles and I will see you in your reading. Bye-bye. If you chose pile number 1 with the blue aquamarine, then this is your group's pile. I'm just going to set this beautiful aquamarine over here. I want to admit that I have already recorded your reading and for some reason it didn't save correctly, so I'm going to try again because it was such a really beautiful reading, so I hope we get something pretty similar. Alright, let's look at the cards that I have here. I'm going to set these aside for a second. We have the Princess of Coins and the Ace of Swords. I get the feeling that the ancestor that is reaching out to you, they were always really concerned with stability and their growth and their money, and they feel like they never quite got there. I mean, a lot of people who are trans, especially historically, there's been a lot of prejudice in the workplace, so it does make sense, which sucks. What was I going to say? I feel like they were always trying to look for their next opportunity, their new reason to build more support, their new ability to make more money, their next job, their next whatever, hustle, whatever. And they might be like looking at your life and trying to point out that those were things that caused them a lot of grief in their own. Maybe they're relating to your situation. Maybe you're also that kind of person who's always working, maybe always on the go, who always feels like they are concerned about their stability because they're, the world is very unstable in a lot of ways. So I wouldn't blame you if it's because you might be experiencing your own version of instability, but also too, maybe being overly concerned with where your money is coming from, where your next opportunities are coming from, because the stable ones are passing you by or you're not taking those opportunities. Let's keep going into your reading. We got the Hermit and Perseverance. Yeah, perhaps you're spending a lot of time to yourself. The Hermit almost always means that. But also check out how this Hermit has like a little kid and a mop and a phone. Like that sort of like busy tediousness that I think your ancestor is speaking about seems to be present in this card too. Like maybe you're a parent. Maybe you have a lot of people that are are relying on you that you need to take care of. Maybe you're in your 30s and 40s, and I feel like that's a big time for a lot of people when those things are huge in their life, and there's a lot of environmental stressors that a lot of people are dealing with. And I think it can cause a lot of instability, like mentally or otherwise, to have to be always like trying to take care of all that stuff, though it is an honorable job. Like, you're totally a hero if that's you. Maybe you don't have your own kids, but you're working with kids. I used to work with kids all the time, and I still do. But I feel like no matter how long or short it is, like, the energy of kids really can take a lot out of you, and it can be hard to feel like you have energy for other things. Um, Maybe this message is a little bit for me because I know I've been just going to work and coming home more and more, and not necessarily taking care of the things that bring me joy, like reading videos for you guys. So I'm trying to get back into doing the things that are for me, not just for keeping everything and the bills afloat. So maybe potentially relate to that message. Uh, Perseverance. So I think that also ties really well into this. Like, you are trying to get through this. You're trying to make sure it goes well. You're trying to make sure that things are uplifted in a meaningful way. If you are taking care of a household or family or something of that nature, like a business, you want everything to last. You want everything to be upheld in a meaningful way. Okay, let's get some more cards from you. I'm going to be taking cards from this deck. Okay, we got the Empress. Nice. I don't know, I guess she can go there. The Empress, the King of Disc in reverse, the Prince of Cups, the Two of Wands, the Devil, and the Ten of Cups. Okay, so my pile number ones, I feel like you are the type of person who has just like a lot of, I'm seeing in the Empress that you're the type of person who has just like a lot of personal power. People really look up to you. People really see you as some sort of guiding light. That would definitely make sense if you are a parent. The Empress is like the ultimate mother, but that mothering energy could be, something more metaphorical in a different situation. Like, maybe you're someone who protects their people. You're someone who people gather around and ask for advice, or you're someone that people see as their stability or their rock, or you're nurturing to them. With the King of Disc, I'm seeing that you don't feel like your wealth is bringing you any power. There's like a keyword here that says power. So I'm reading it like that. I don't always think of the King of Disc as specifically relating to power. They are like an authority figure. But I think that maybe there's either like a lack of confidence, or there is a little bit of a lack of foundation in your wealth. So you may be the Empress to other people, but to yourself, you might be feeling like you don't have the confidence, you don't have the power, you don't have the ability to do this. You may be finding yourself saying, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that a lot, when in reality, you really can. But you're saying no a lot to things. I'm wondering though too, since we have the Devil, if that is relating to potentially some vices in your life. Like, maybe you're someone who loves, to drink and party and eat, and you could be potentially overindulging in something, and it's causing you to be a little bit at odds with your personal power, your wealth, whatever that means to you. Like literally you could be spending way too much money on things like like obviously I feel like I'm a hobbyist. Like I get these cards, I got this YouTube channel. I always have a plethora of candles. I like to do my nails. I waste too much money on things that are just extra. And I think sometimes our vices can get a grip on us like that, where we feel we start to get to the point where we realize this thing is keeping us from actually being an authority, from actually having that foundation of wealth that we want, from, you know, from our savings, from our literal day-to-day coin, we're spending it on something else. Um, you know, whatever that advice may be to you, those are some easy ones. Like sometimes people have other more hard to explain vices. Like some people could be addicted to anxiety and like addicted to that feeling of hustle. Like I wonder if that's something that your ancestor is tapping into, because they are saying that some of the problems in their life came from always scrambling for opportunities and always trying to be that person that had wealth, or stability of some sort. So, you know, that could be you. Maybe you're some sort of workaholic, or even the fact that you're trying to preserve something and you're trying to be the head of something that might be totally important, totally necessary. You could start to get addicted to that feeling of like, well, I'm the one who has to make this happen. Um, so my stomach just growled. I'm sorry if you heard that. Addicted to that feeling where I'm the one in charge. I'm the one that has to make this happen. So scramble, scramble, scramble. And then like the excitement of that, you know, even though it might not be a positive excitement, it can be something that's addictive. And so actually doing something boring that would be good for the longevity might be something that you're not keyed into because you think it has to be that sort of scramble. I know I've definitely been there before. And when I've gotten you know, I feel like I end up having jobs that are strange and you know, require different things from moment to moment, and leadership is not very always receptive to um, your frustrations, especially if you're a person of color. I've definitely had plenty of amazing jobs, don't get me wrong, but I've had a few where it just felt like they had to make it complicated for you. They had to make it so that everyone did the most amount that they could do because they could barely afford to pay anybody. And everyone was scrambling in that scarcity mindset. But then I've had jobs where they're so much better at covering their bases, or so much better at taking care of their people and making sure that their people feel like they're appreciated, that their input is important, that their presence there is a gift to them. And I think that, you know, this could totally be something beyond a job. Um, but, and maybe I'll talk about that in a second. It doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to feel like you're hitting the pavement every day just to make the bare minimum. Like hitting the pavement should be something, is a gift that you can give when things, occasionally when things really need to get done, when things are really falling apart. That shouldn't be your everyday. Um, and people should be able to value your approach, even if it's calm and quiet and takes time and is thoughtful. I feel like in our culture in general, we don't really appreciate that as much. We expect people to be in that hustle, summer energy, especially in the US. I can't speak for anywhere else that that much, but I don't think we're the only ones that it's always like make more money, go to work more, do more things in your free time to make money, monetize your hobbies. And you know, life doesn't have to be like that. Like life should be able to be something that you are able to freely, quietly, softly go through, that you're able to experience all of the joys in like stillness. I had a friend recently tell me that's what they thought winter was for all of us to slow down And I was listening to Kino, a reading by her recently, and she said this analogy of winter and summer, where summer is that busy time where we're outside and we're filled with the sun's energy and we're just going and going and going and having so much fun. And then the world expects us to be in this endless summer, when winter is just as important. That slow time, fall, like the feast is just as important as the planting. Okay. So I also wanted to point out that we have the King of Disc reversed with the Devil, and I think sometimes when those are together, it can indicate there's like a person in your life that is somewhat abusive in a way, and I'm using abusive in, there is a definitely like a huge range of what that can mean. I'm not saying that there's literally someone who's hurting you physically every day, and I'm so sorry if that is the case. My heart goes out to you, and you don't have to put up with that. You can do anything else with your life. There's so many resources out there for you. I've definitely seen it firsthand before. Take those resources. Call the YMCA, call the YWCA, get out of there. Like, it's not good for you. It's not good for whoever else might be with you. If that person is hurting you physically, like, they do not love you. Get out of there. Okay, so the other thing though, it could be like very minor abuses, like what I was saying with a job that doesn't really value you, that doesn't really appreciate you the way you should be appreciated, that works you to death without any real reward or relief. It could just be a person who's maybe taking advantage of you in some subtle ways, or just isn't that nice to you that's near you. It could be a landlord. I know many of us have bad landlords, or I recently have been looking to move, and I was talking to a potential new landlord, and he started texting me crazy additional things, and I felt like I almost was working for him with how many extra proofs he was asking me for. And I know it's really normal for landlords to ask for proofs. I'm not saying in a normal capacity, but it was stretching on for a long time, and every time he asked me for something, he'd send me some rude text and rush me. But then when I would send it to him, he wouldn't actually look at it. So I think there are some people who, like, that's just them in their life. They are rude to people. They don't realize that how much they're hurting people with their words and actions from day to day. This could be, something small, or something that feels small like that, but is really getting to you, and something that's really keeping you from feeling like you can look into the future, or keeping you from your abundance and your power. Okay, we have introspection here and planning. I don't usually think of the Prince of Cups as introspective, but let's take it. Like, maybe that's part of the hermit energy that you've been in. You've been looking within. You've been looking at your own personal emotional fulfillment. You've been taking some time to really feel how you might be at odds with what you're doing, or something needs to change, is my guess. There may be some like person around you that's provided that introspection for you, that's really help you dive into what you're thinking and feeling. That could be you, or it could be someone else, is all I'm saying. Planning, you are looking to the future. You're trying to build a foundation for the future, which we already saw with Perseverance and a little bit in the Hermit that we pulled. You're looking for what will be your great thing that you do next. What will be your future? You want to move in that direction. And I feel like in that direction is going to be your 10 of Cups, your harmony. That's going to be your community, your family, your vibe, your foundation, your support system. Like, that's going to be the thing that you find as you move forward. Or maybe you're just saying, what is that for me? And what are the simple steps for me to get there? Because I think the Two of Wands is definitely like putting those things down. What do they always say to us in school? Like, easy, measurable. Easy, measurable, achievable goals. Those are what good goals are. I think that goals can be abstract and not easy and not measurable, but you have to be able to break down some steps. So you're like, I would be happy. That's actually like a great goal. But then you have to think, you have to introspect and think, what are some practices that can get me there? And I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any means. I'm sure someone listening to this will just be like, bro, you're a hypocrite. But I do really want to be happy. I don't want to be a person that goes to work and comes home, that works all the time and doesn't do anything else. I think that, even having hobbies, even having like time to yourself to read or meditate, those things are really important. I've been trying to learn a language. Like maybe you are dabbling in or exploring what are those things that are going to make me happy in the long term. What are those things that are going to give me fulfillment? Maybe it's even with work, since we've been talking about financial opportunities and work a little bit in this reading. Maybe you're someone who's like, hey, my current job sucks. My boss is very toxic. And I need to do something that's going to make me feel emotionally fulfilled. That's going to be my 10 of cups. That's going to preserve my family. That's going to help us maintain like the level that I and the standard I think is important. Um and you're like, I think I need to do some exploring of what those things are. Like, I need to go try some new things and see what I might like. I need to go shadow a friend at work or something like that and volunteer somewhere, see what it's really like to work there so that I can make an educated guess about what I might actually want to do. Or maybe I think, to be fair, I feel like a lot of work I've done in my life that I'm the most proud of, I didn't really get paid for. And, we can chalk that up to my lack of grant writing ability. But at the same time, that side thing that you do, like, I feel like I did so many cool projects during quarantine that were aimed to help people, that were all like donation and volunteer based, that were interacting with the public at public events, giving away like care packages to people, like upholding Black and brown people, upholding people who were struggling the most under the pandemic, giving away food, connecting with pantries and um, things like that. Those things I didn't get paid for, but will feel the most gratification out of, and I will feel like that helped me connect with the community at large. So that was what I was that's what I meant. That's what I was meant to do in that moment. That was the thing that helped me completely through that situation, as well as like connecting with my friends. And I started a band making music. Like, what are those things that you might be denying yourself because you feel so busy in your daily life that you're not, that without, you're just an unhappy person, that you're so preoccupied in this like toil and work that you're not necessarily able to, bring your best self to the situation. Um, it is giving me that, old analogy where you're on the plane and they're like, well, if there's an oxygen emergency, the mask will drop down and you need to put it on yourself first because you can't help anybody else if you're not breathing enough to do it. Like, if you're not in a good place, you can't really uphold anything else that well. And no offense, no offense, no judgment. If it's you that's not in a good place, like, we all are there sometimes, and that is life. Like, if you're someone who's never in a bad place, I just don't think you're telling the truth. I feel like you're just hiding when you're not having a good time. Excuse me, I had a yawn. I'm actually reading a lot earlier than I normally do. I usually read at night, and it is like before 11 a.m. So you might hear some of the outside noises. I'm sorry if they are loud. Okay, let's move a little further into our reading. I feel like let's give you some advice for the situation. I just want to like reaffirm that I feel like you do have this under control. Like you are that type of person that always potentially has everything under control, that doesn't necessarily ask others for help. And, you know, maybe like you coming to this reading is good because you're getting a little bit of a help from, I hope, a little bit of help from this on your situation for clarity, but also I think you should rely on some of the people in your community, and that might be we got the Ten of Cups. That might be part of what brings you, your own fulfillment in this situation, is really telling other people about it, really like having other people help you. Maybe even just like having other people help you find a job, since that's what we thought it might be. Okay, I had some cards turn over. Let's take these. And you know, it's not what you know, it's who you know usually. So asking your friends, telling them that you're looking for something in particular, that can really help you achieve your goals for pretty much anything. I am worthy. I am enough, and I am worthy of receiving everything I desire. I do not need to prove myself to those who would seek to diminish me. I am worthy. That's right. Whoever it is that is maybe not being so kind to you, you deserve better than that. You know, whatever degree of whatever that is. I am a creator. Everything around me began as a thought, my clothes, my home, and even the roads. Everything around me began as a thought. My clothes, my home, even the roads I drive on were once just thoughts. When I take the time to contemplate my surroundings, I grasp all of the thoughts that took place to create this world. Likewise, my thoughts have created things. My thoughts create my actions, thereby create my life as I know it. Therefore, I strive to think. Think about my desires optimistically. I am a creator. I am connected. I have more in common with others than I realize. I seek commonality with people rather than focusing on outward differences. I am connected. Okay, my pile number ones, this is all that I'm seeing for you today. I really hope that you're able to get out there and make the changes that you want to see. You deserve that Ten of Cups moment, that harmony, that happiness. And I know that you're going to get it because you got the Empress and you are a powerful, amazing force. Okay, if you enjoyed this message or it resonated with you at all, please consider giving a like or subscribe or sharing this video with someone else. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. If you pick pile number 2 with the pink tourmaline, and this is your group's pile. This little nugget of pink tourmaline is so cute. This is what I was always told was the October birthstone. I'm just going to put it right over here. Let's go ahead and get into the cards that I pre-selected for you. I'm going to put this one to the side for a second. This is the Black Queer Tarot. It's so cute. I love this work. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Magician, and the High Priestess. Oh, she's so beautiful. Okay, with the Wheel of Fortune, let's see. I think that the ancestors that are reaching out to you were people who saw a lot of up and downs in their lives. Or their life, it was just one person. They definitely had the ability to make a lot of things happen when they were on top of it. But they had like this spiritual or religious side that they really leaned into when they were here. The High Priestess doesn't necessarily have to be about organized religion, but I don't know, I am getting that vibe, like they were all about religion at the same time while they were seeing a lot of up and downs in their life, or maybe towards the end of their life they got really into their religion or spirituality. Um, maybe that's something that helped them. Maybe that was something that helped them become that magician, that helped them make more things happen. Um, but I think that they're saying that with the right tools, you can spin that wheel. You can really make a lot of things work for you that maybe weren't working before. Okay, let's get into, what is this one? The Lovers. Aww. This deck just has like this deck just has like a lot of skeletons. Like, that's just the aesthetic of this. It doesn't mean anything bad about the Lovers. I think that you may be in a situation where you're trying to either align yourself with your values and your goals and the world, or you're trying to align yourself with someone else. Like, you are falling in love, or you're experiencing love of what you're doing, or love of yourself, like that sort of thing. At the moment, you're kind of getting into that romance with something or somebody. Let's get some more cards about your situation. I'm going to pull from this deck. Let me shuffle that for you. You definitely showed me the Seven of Cups, like you have a lot of choices. Oh, shoot. I mean, no thanks. Well, shuffling is bad today, but I'm working on it. Okay. Let's get some. We have the Hierophant and the Ten of Disc, Establishment. I turned it over, so the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Swords. Okay, let's get one more. At the bottom of the deck, we have Transition, the Six of Swords. So you are definitely in a transitory phase right now. I'm just gonna like straighten these out for a second. There's some sort of transition happening for you in your life right now. I don't know, you may be literally moving, or literally, this romance that's come into your life, this thing that you've fallen in love with, or this person you've fallen in love with has been making you want to make changes in your life and connect more with what will make you feel more established. That's this. The Hierophant, it represents tradition, but it also represents school for people a lot. So maybe you're a student, or you're thinking about going back to school, or you just graduated. All of those things give us really big transitions in our life. Like, I don't know if it's higher education or just like high school. Like, maybe you're younger and you are going to high school, and that's becoming a big transition for you. Though these readings are not really for younger kids. I'm just saying, a high school student, sure. High school to college, sure. But maybe you're already doing something else in your life and you feel somewhat established, but you also realize that you need to go back to school. Like, you have been wanting to go back to school this whole time since you graduated the first time, and you want to go back, but you're just not really sure about making that transition. Or you just recently decided, you know what, screw it, I'm doing it. Let's go back to school. And you're in the process of figuring out that transition for yourself. Through all transitions, we will have a lot of fear and potential isolation. The fear, I'm noticing it from the Nine of Swords. I can talk. And the Eight of Swords. I feel like these always felt like really similar cards to me, but with you just have to remember that both of them are things that are a little bit in your head. Like, isolation is always man-made. There's an activist that lived here in Detroit that I love her work so much. I only met her when she was very elderly and was in like a wheelchair, and so she just didn't have the same sort of spark that I've seen in other depictions of her. Her name is Grace Lee Boggs, and she talks about community, and I think a lot of people feel like they need to find community and they need to feel in community with people, but you do not have to feel. She's like, community is just what connects us. We are always part of this interconnected thing of community. And you don't have to necessarily find them. That feels good, don't get me wrong, when you do have that very cognizant awareness of finding community. But we are always in community with other people that are like us, whether we know them or not. And I feel like things like the internet have done a really good job of connecting people across huge expanses of land, you know, so that you can actually feel that community with them. But I think just in general, you are moving out of isolation. So whatever this transition is that's coming up for you, whatever it has to deal with, it's going to bring you that connection to other people. It's going to take away that feeling of isolation that you've been feeling. The Knight of Swords, I feel like whatever has been happening recently for you has really been making you feel afraid. Like, I think that sometimes when we have any sort of change, we might be worried that it's not going to work out. You know, worried that things will go wrong if we really put ourselves out there, if we really try. But you've decided that, you know, those fears aren't important, that you're going to keep going anyway. I mean, I wonder if we can get something else for you, because I feel like these are things you already know. You already know they're happening. You know things. That's a Hierophant. It's our knowing group. Okay, so ooh, it dropped on the floor. Okay, here's the thing that dropped on the floor, the Queen of Wands. It depicts someone that has the power to make anything happen. They are, what am I trying to say? They are someone who leads through inspiration. They're someone that leads through, their power is really in how like gregarious and I don't know, just someone you meet where like you can't help but hang on their every word. You can't help but, you know, follow through with what they are asking you to do, because they are, you know, just so alluring in that way. Like, I'm not necessarily thinking like in any like, I feel like when we hear alluring, we think of like maybe that sort of adult way, but I think I'm just saying that in any way, like they're just very attractive, like a flame. Like, people can't help but listen to them and hang on their every word, because they are that interesting and cool and alluring. Though this could really be about you know, another person, since we have the Lovers. You know, you may have just found someone who just, you are so enamored with them, like they just seem so wise and inspiring to you that it's making you want to make changes, and it's pulled you into a transition that maybe would have otherwise been scary. You would have been afraid, you would have felt isolation, but you don't feel that. You feel like you're establishing something that's going to last for a long time. Like, this could be a person that you want to marry, like someone that you're so over head over heels for that um deception in reverse. You're not going to lie to yourself about this anymore. Like, this is something that you cannot ignore. It's something that you definitely feel like you have to go for. Oh, and below that is the King of Wands. So, you know, I'm just going to take that too. So the getting these both is definitely still encouraging me that this is like the perfect match. Like, whether this is a person or not, I'm getting the feeling it is a person, but if it isn't a person, this school, this like new position, this new home, whatever you're transitioning to is a perfect match for you. And you're going to show leadership in this new experience. I got this one, the Seven of Swords in reverse. It usually shows like quarrels, or this is indicating deception. So I'm saying you had maybe been holding your own self back. Like, you're the type of person who doesn't have faith in themselves. And this gets me back to the original message with the High Priestess. Like, it's just generally faith and your spirituality, your religion, your personal emotional life inside of you, and the Magician, what you can make do in the world, what you can create. We are all a magician in some way. We can all create something. And then the highs and lows of life. I think they're saying that you've spent a lot of time holding yourself back because you were afraid, or because you felt like you didn't have connection with other people, and you lied to yourself about your personal power. You are one of the wand leaders. You're the queen or the king. You're the one that can really make things happen. So if you trust in that and you invest in that, you'll be more established. You'll get through this transition perfectly unscathed. The Wheel of Fortune will be in your favor. You'll be at the top. And if you've been feeling at the bottom, that's changing soon. Okay, let's get some advice for you guys. I want to acknowledge that I get that this might be like a shocking transition you're going through, but I feel like you are definitely someone with enough power. If you get out of your own way, you're going to get there. I feel like this one wanted to come. Let's get one more. Okay. I am resilient. If my mood wavers, it doesn't stay that way permanently. I allow myself to feel my feelings until I can refocus my thoughts on the positive. I do not judge myself for being human. I am resilient. I am aware. When I pay attention to my surroundings, I can feel appreciation for everything I see. So much beauty in the world. Being aware, I see so much beauty in the world. Being aware means living in the present and fully experiencing my life in the here and now. I am aware. I am compassionate. I understand how important it is to have compassion, and not just for others, but for myself as well. I forgive myself for the times that I may have let myself down. I forgive others for the same. I realize that, like me, everyone is doing the best they know with the tools they have. I am compassionate. Ironically, when you become more compassionate for yourself, it does actually help you be more resilient and be more able to get through any situation you're in. Like I was saying before, I think your ancestors are saying that you have the ability to make anything happen. You have the magician in you, if you only have a little bit of faith. So have faith in yourself. Be kind to yourself. One way to get some more self trust is to like plan some things and follow through on them. Maybe you're someone who has a hard time with follow through for yourself. Maybe you can act like you're doing it for someone else. If you're that type of person who's better at doing things for other people, maybe you can act like it's some sort of game, just like pick a few things that you're going to do, follow through on them, and start to build some of that self-confidence, because you actually are a really cool person. I think that you are that alluring person. You're either the King of Wands or the Queen of Wands. You're someone people trust, and you're in your head beating your own self up. So I hope that you're able to see how beautiful and amazing and resilient you are. Be more aware of the beautiful things that you have and that you can create. And if this reading resonated for you at all, please consider giving it a like or subscribe or sharing it with someone that you know. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. If you chose pile number 3 or the semicolon pen, then this is your group's reading. The little semicolon represented people who have like neurodivergent experience or experiences with like depression or other things. So like they had their life plus something else was, I think, the meaning of it. If I'm incorrect about that, go ahead and correct me down in the comments. I welcome a correction, but that's what I was told, and when I got this, that's how it was explained to me. So let's put that over here. I'm just going to put it in that little container. And let's look at these things I pre-selected for you. This is the Black Queer Tarot by Kendrick Day. It is actually beautiful. Wow, we started off strong with the Lovers and the Two of Coins and the Princess of Swords. I think that your ancestors that are coming through today, they were either extremely loving or they were also people who just like, you know, people who just like love. They're like very excited by new experiences. They're very like, you know, visceral, like all the things that come along with those like adult experiences in love. You know, this channel isn't monetized at all, so I'm just, you know, but I'm still trying to keep it PG-13. But, you know, let's just say like people who are getting to know each other, they're falling in love, they're enjoying each other's bodies. Like your ancestor that's coming through, or ancestors, we're talking about how that was such a huge part of their life. They were able to do those things while they balanced other things. They were able to do those things while they learned new things. That falling in love was one of the greatest things that they can say they enjoyed, and falling in love helped them find themselves. They found themselves through all the different situations that they were in, through all the ups and downs that they experienced while they were working through tumultuous things, all the new things that they wanted to learn, all the different mountains they wanted to climb. I think of the Princess of Swords sometimes is like learning to climb, learning to like rock climb, learning to climb a mountain for the first time. So I wonder why they're really highlighting this for you. You got the life of the party. These cards just make me laugh. I'm sorry. That's not me taking anything lightly or anything like that. I'm just a giggly person. I hope you understand. In the life of the party, I see someone who's able to make other people laugh, who's able to, I don't know, just be charming and gregarious, and someone that other people really love having around because you just bring them so much joy. Okay, let's get further into your reading. You seem like a lot of fun. Your ancestors also seem like a lot of fun. Okay, let's get some cards here. I like that one when it come out. The Burden. I'm not doing a good job shuffling today. So, yes. Ooh, 10 Cups. We got Wealth reversed. We also got 5 of Disc. Let's get another one. Princess of Disc, and then on the back we have the Two of Disc, again, reversed. Okay. You know, the Lovers in general can represent harmony, and here they have that word harmony for the Ten of Cups. This is interesting because I feel like you have this kind of dichotomy in these cards that came out. So like on one hand, you're the life of the party. You are someone who brings a lot of harmony to emotional situations or your own emotional situations. You have a lot of cups in the Ten of Cups. You have a lot of emotional fulfillment that you are capable of bringing. But you also, at this moment, are feeling a lot of strife. You're feeling like maybe some like issues with your wealth or money. Like you're feeling like the money's not coming in the way that you want to. There's like a big thing. With the Ten of Wands, I see there's a big thing that you're working on, some sort of burden. Ten of Wands is also for workers, some sort of work that you're trying to get done. We got the Ace of Disc in reverse, so it feels like opportunities are not coming. There's the Two of Disc, like this is talking about change, but also we got the Two of Coins, which is the same card, guys. So it's I see it as being resilient and steady through troubling waters. Like you're a teacher. I have one deck that shows a teacher in a classroom trying to draw on the board while the kids are like playing in the background and being really crazy. There's one where a person is trying to balance on a ball while they hold two other things in their hand, or someone juggling like while there are people dancing around them. Like it's very much so about being that consistent, steady force in the center of chaos. And I think that you're feeling like you're not able to be that. Like you're going through something that really feels tumultuous. That's like, well, if I don't have money, I can't get this other thing done. If I don't have opportunities for wealth, I can't manifest anything. This one says manifest, the Princess of Disc. And how am I going to get to the Ten of Cups that I know in my heart I'm supposed to have? I think your ancestors are coming through with like, you know, trying new things is going to get you there. Learning how to self-soothe and calm your mind through tumultuous situations is going to get you there. Learning to be vulnerable and fall in love with like your own alignment and values is going to help get you there. Like digging into your joyful spirit and sharing that with other people is going to help get you there. I feel like I need more cards because I just don't want to tell you about whatever, you know, the issue you find yourself in. Also, I got one more deck. I didn't pull this for any other deck, any other cards. Sorry. I didn't pull extra cards for any other group so far, so don't tell them. If you end up picking another group too. Okay. Let's get some more messages for group number 3. This one I pull in. Oh my god. Wow. Alright, I'm saying it like that because you got the Two of Coins again. And that's the teacher I was telling you about, and the kid spirits in the back. We got the Knight of Swords. We got the Sun. We got the Eight of Swords. And the Seven of Wands. I'm just going to put here. Okay, so yes, again, wow. So I didn't shuffle these beforehand. What are the chances of getting it in this deck? And this deck? And this deck? Like, you really are meant to focus on, your resiliency through chaos, your ability to stay in a peaceful mind through tumultuous times. And I'm saying it outwardly to times because so far we didn't get many swords, which is all about the mind. We got a lot of like coins or discs, so that to me means outside of yourself. But then we do now have the Knight of Swords, which is about jumping into action. And I feel like you personally are feeling a lot of isolation or fear or trap, like you feel like you can't do things. Is kind of the vibe of the Eight of Swords. But the Eight of Swords also comes with a lesson that you are able to do whatever you want. Like, isolation is almost always man-made. We are always connected to other people. We are always in community with other people. Even if you spend too much time alone, there's people everywhere outside of you if you are able to reach out to them. That isolation or that fear is in your head. It's not something that actually people are feeling. In fact, you are the life of the party. That's you. You're someone people love being around. We have the sun, so there's something here that is going to spark, just like it's gonna feel so warm and uplifting when you see it. Maybe it's a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know. Something's gonna click, and you're just gonna be like, okay, there it is. That's it. That's my sun. I'm going for it. It's gonna fill you with hope and aspiration. In the story of the tarot, the person going through the experiences of the major arcana suddenly sees the sunrise, and they had been through despair and challenges and met all these interesting wild people, and they were starting to give up, and the sun was what made them keep going. And I feel like that's something in your life is going to be that for you sometime soon. It might be you. It might be the life of the party. I think too, like, if you pick this because you identify with the mental health variance ish aspect, like that could be something that's playing a role in why you feel like you're not getting the change that you want, you're not getting the wealth, prosperity, or establishment that you're looking for. And being able to work in your internal mental health is going to help with that. And I'm not just saying like whatever traditionally that is, like for you, like whether that's actually seeking like therapy or psychological services. I feel like they are always free somewhere, or they're always affordable somewhere or some amount, even though it doesn't seem like it. Nearby any of us, especially in a city, there's going to be an organization that gives therapy for free. And even if that means going inside with, people who are in like more desperate situations than you might be, or maybe you are the person in the desperate situation, any of us could be there at any time. Go in solidarity and figure that out and see if someone can help you or connect you to where you need help. But that also could just be about you developing your own practice of regulating yourself, your own like methodology and system for helping your mind stay calm in chaotic situations, or your own way of regulating your particular situation, whatever that may be. So even if it's not like something mental, like I have specifically like a hormonal issue that I have to be good about avoiding stress and taking medicine and vitamins and making sure that I'm not always eating trash. And I go up and down in how good I am at those things. But if I worked at it, I could be good. I have been good more often than not because of effort and like working to stay steady through things that aren't working, learning to let go of things that are bringing me to stress. I feel like that's been a hard one for me. It might be for you too. Being like, this isn't working for me. I have to leave, and you need to find someone else to do this job or to be in this situation because this isn't good for me. Okay, and the other thing I wanted to point out with the Knight of Swords jumping into something quickly and with all of your might, as well as you might feel afraid. The Knight of Wands is all about those things that bring you fear, but you are going to remind yourself that I can feel the fear and do it anyway. We don't think of things as being brave because you're not afraid. I think that is something that we imprint on younger when we watch, like, at least I watched a lot of superhero based cartoons and cartoons where people had like amazing powers in the first place that are not typical or normal. And so they weren't afraid. They were like, I'm going to jump in and it's fine. I'm going to conquer the bad guy. But the thing that actually is brave is doing it even though it's a little scary, doing it even though you're a little bit afraid. And I love to remind myself, like, okay, I might be afraid, but I'm going to do that shit anyway. I'm going to go. I'm going to go for it. All right, pile number 3s. Let's get you some advice in here. One more. I am passionate. Yes, I'm definitely getting this from you guys. I put my entire heart into the people and things I believe in. My passion is a powerful force. It is an eternal fuel. I recognize the strength of my passion and therefore I'm careful where I choose to focus it. I am passionate. I think that you guys have been holding yourself from digging into something that you do feel passionate about, perhaps, like whatever that could be that makes you feel. The Lovers and romance. You know, for some reason you may come off as someone who's so carefree and hilarious and funny, but inside you have a lot of worries, and it stops you from going after what you really want. But just remember, we're going after what we want. We're passionate about things. I understand that there are times to move and there are times to be still. In my stillness, I seek greater understanding. I take time to rest and contemplate. I strive for unconditional happiness. Here in the present, I am still. I am bold. I speak my truth in a loving way. My courage to communicate my needs is powered by love for myself and love for others. I am bold. All right, my pile number 3s. I feel like you can do this. You need to find some stillness inside of yourself. Go after what you're passionate for, and your boldness is definitely one of your most amazing characteristics, but also needs to be, I think that you're using your inner stillness for worry instead of keeping yourself steady. And I hope that you're able to connect that in your own life and figure out what that means for you. I'm just a person on the internet, so I don't have all the answers either. And I also struggle with things like this sometimes. So it's just what I do when I'm in that situation where I can no longer feel regulated and safe in my own head. I make a list of things that I'm surviving for, me, other things. I make a list of things that make me feel calm, regulated. I really liked this idea that I heard from Evelyn on the internet in her notebook. She has like a daily journal that she uses. I'm not saying that you have to be a journaler, but she makes a list of things that she can do when she feels overwhelmed and stressed. So when I'm dysregulated, when I'm overwhelmed and stressed, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And I also made a list for myself and I love it. So I could create something, I can draw, I can journal, I can go for a walk, I can breathe really deeply, whatever that is to you. Those are just some examples that are easy to throw out. Um, you know, I think I invite you to make that own list for yourself. And I hope that it helps. If this message resonated for you at all in any way, please consider giving a like or subscribe. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Bye. If you chose group number 4 with the Moonchior Magic Diamond pin, then this is your group's reading. I don't know why I like saying all of that. I just think it's funny, but let's take a look at this little crystal on here. It's so cute, even though it's probably not real. This is just really nice. I'm going to put it in here. Let's go ahead and look at the cards that I have for you here. This deck is the Black Queer Tarot by Kendrick Day. I love this deck. It's so beautiful. We have the 9 of Sticks and Temperance. You know what? I wonder if that's the same model. They really look alike. I guess they look a little different. They have different tattoos. I love how they feel really similar, like they're making an interesting movement with their body. And there's similar colors on both of these. I'm seeing some orange and some green and some blue, so maybe you want to check out the color alignment videos for orange or green and maybe blue down below. Okay, so Temperance and the 9 of Sticks. The 9 of, which is really the 9 of Wands, so I'm just trying to bring up my tarot knowledge. The 9 of Wands is a card for workers, and it's all about like burdens that you feel like you have to carry or work that you feel like you need to do. And Temperance, I think of it as, I think it's like a card for Sagittarius. I feel like they're so good at knowing what to do and when. Like they're really good at, you know, knowing when they need to give in some time, knowing when they need to leave, knowing when they need to do that, at least anecdotally. I think that that's a big strong strength of Sagittarius. Maybe you are Sagittarius, maybe your the ancestor connecting with your ancestors or into that sort of Sagittarius vibe. But I think that they're sort of saying that they were able to get through their burdens, get through their work by knowing when to do what, like knowing when to put in time, knowing when to stop, knowing when to give energy and knowing when to not. And that's how they made it through any of their 9 of Sticks moments. So let's get yours. We have the High Priestess and the iced coffee. This deck just makes me laugh. I'm sorry. I hope you understand. It's so silly. Let's put it like this. Okay. So I don't know the exact definitions that the creator made for these, but I'm just going to read them sort of intuitively from the card. I think that you are a very intuitive kind of person, that you spend a lot of time in your life with your spiritual side. Like maybe you're able to read, maybe you're someone who could be able to read coffee grounds, and you're someone who, maybe you also read tarot cards like this. You're someone that like can feel the energy and vibe of a situation without trying that hard. I think that your intuition is just a really powerful tool for you in particular. That's the vibe I'm getting. You're someone who maybe you get exhausted and you need a lot of self-care, as in like time to yourself, time to decompress. This person is in the tub with a cigarette, and that's just all I can think of. Not saying that you smoke, but just that they are like, man, that was a hard day. That was a hard spiritual day. It was my intuition, and I need to unwind. I think too, like things like bathing can be really spiritual for people. Like if you really think about the symbolism of it in so many different religions, how people, what was that? People wash feet, and people bathe in the river together, and people go to the bathhouse, and like there were so many different instances. I'm just summing up, no offense to anyone who practices these, and I'm not giving full explanations or doing it complete justice, just know that. But I'm just saying there's so many instances of bathing as a spiritual act in a lot of organized religion and in a lot of spiritual practices. Even like in my own experience, I feel like taking a bath under the moon, like taking a bath with the window open so you can see the moon, or taking a bath in the dark, like those things can have their own in the dark, like with a candle. Those things can have their own like spiritual benefits to your own like humanity. Just like they can be very renewing. um and I think a lot of people feel that way about coffee. I don't really drink coffee that much, but I do love it in ice cream. But I think sharing coffee, sharing tea, definitely come from more of a tea culture with black sweet tea. Like I remember my mom making that in summer for me. But I think just how comforting those beverages can be when you share with each other. So you could also just be someone who's really great at being in community with people and really great at sharing that sort of like other uh other earthly connection with people through that sort of action. Like share a tea with me and they feel so full from that act with you, and they feel like it's really meaningful when you invite them over for tea or coffee. When you have your coffee in the morning, it's like almost a spiritual practice for you. I think that you are that sort of like deep, intuitive sort of person. And hey, welcome. Nice to meet you. Okay, so let's go ahead and move further into this reading. I have this deck here, the field. Here we got one. Seven of Cups. Oops. Oh wow, that just fell open. Okay, let's take that. And at the bottom of the deck you have the Queen of Wands. So let's take that one too. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of powerful things here. We have determination, the Chariot. So this is the Eight of Disc. Oh, dedication, sorry. The Chariot. Vibrancy. I'm going to turn this one up. Authority. The King of Swords. And the Queen of Swords. I guess I need to move over so they're even. Okay, so I'm definitely seeing this duality here between two entities, but there's another one. Well, I don't know, like, I don't want to assume anything. Like, I feel like a lot of these readings are very, like, you'll find on the internet are very, like, you're talking about pairings of two, like, you're going to find your soulmate, you're going to see your twin flame, and yeah. But I definitely also want to respect people who might be in non-traditional relationships. Like, I've been one of them too, so you could be like there could be three of you all together being like really in tune with each other. Like I loved how there are two queens and a king. Gender aside, like that's just a metaphorical thing in tarot, even though people really do follow through on the dichotomy. So, I mean, if you're into more traditional things, this could be like a love triangle. But I'm feeling like actually you're someone who's with two other people. Like they could be your two best friends. They could be, you know, but you guys could be in a relationship with each other that's really meaningful and deep. That is a, you know, sexual or not, adult or not. Okay, so there's a lot of choices that you're having right now. The Seven of Cups is a wish card, so you may be seeing a lot of choices on the horizon. It does fall in line with this idea of having more than one potential person that you're interested in, or more than one, could be also more than one potential goal that you're thinking of in life. Um, and I don't know. Okay, so your ancestors were talking about, you know, sort of that give and take of energy and conserving into your work. So it could also just be about giving your give and take into different people. When to bring out the Queen of Swords energy, she's very like, she's an honest leader. She's someone that you follow because you know she's going to tell you the truth, and she's going to do what she needs to have to get at the reality of the situation to make reality better for people. And the King of Swords is similar, but he's the one who's full of knowledge and information. They have the ability to lead through what they know, their experience, their you know, their expertise on things, like the things that they know. And the Queen of Swords leads through inspiration, and she's also just vivacious and someone that you can't turn away from. They're the epitome of that fiery, like inspirational energy, someone that you just want to be around because they really have such an amazing outward attraction. I mean, you could be that person, or you could be all three of these people. These could be people in your life. I think that you have choices, you have options. You have choices, you have options. Okay. The trade in reverse. You may have realized that something was not worth fighting for, or something was not worth pushing through into. Um, and then the Eight of Disc is all about putting in time to make an outcome in the end. So like planting a garden, like planting a garden, investing your energy into the soil with your time and your seeds and all that good stuff to create the final product, which is your garden, your food, your flowers, whatever it is. And I think there's been something recently where you're just like, it's not worth the dedication, it's not worth the resiliency I needed to put in. I think sometimes like we protect ourselves by thinking that maybe something feels so long term to you and you're just like, you know, it's not worth it. That's gonna take too long. Like, and your brain is like, I don't know about that energy output to input. Like, I'm just gonna skip that one. But like maybe you do want to put in the time and energy, you just haven't felt like you could, or you haven't felt like it's worth it. Um, I don't know. So I also wanted to point out how these have the same like color scheme. I'm seeing green and black and with some other colors in. So maybe you want to check out the reading with your collective Black ancestors, or you want to check out the green alignment video. Maybe those will be helpful to you. Wasn't I saying at the beginning that red and green were here? So, well, free Palestine. That could be something for you too. Okay, so I feel like I want to know more about what's going on. I'm the nosy one. I'm gonna pull more cards. What's going on with all of these people? And I haven't done this. I did this for one other deck, one other pile. So don't tell all the other piles I pulled extra cards for you. What is with Temperance? and all these powerful people in this person's life. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're I think this is also, well, the 10 of Wands is kind of like the 9 of Sticks. The card for the workers, lots of hard work. You've decided that it isn't worth it. I guess this goes over here. And okay, at the bottom of the deck is the 10 of Cups reversed. That happy home didn't feel so happy to you is what I'm getting, whatever it was. And I see another 7 of Pentacles, like the 8 of Pentacles. So interesting. Can I get one more card for the situation? This is just mirroring the situation. Can I get something that explains it more? Okay. The 4 of Swords. So a period of rest and relaxation has come to an end for you. And here's the 9 of Wands in reverse. Alrighty. Okay. So I guess I just want to say I'm so sorry for whatever has been going on in your life that has been feeling stressful. You definitely are realizing that things need to change. You want to move towards being more independent and having more authority in your life. I think you want to be the one that people are looking up to. I think maybe as an intuitive, maybe potentially introverted or internally focused person, you've given your own self the back burner a little bit in whatever situation this is. You've been overworked by maybe emotional labor is the vibe I'm getting, but also could just be like literally you've been working a lot at a job. And this sort of like strife you've had to put in and the sort of planning you've had to do just didn't really feel like that important to you. It didn't feel like it was worth it. It didn't really feel like your heart was in it, but it's exhausting you at the same time. So I think you've realized recently that you have a lot of choices. You don't have to do the thing that you've been doing. You don't have to be with the people you've been with. You can go and do something else. And maybe potentially you are deciding to take a period of rest for yourself. You're realizing that this, period of rest for yourself, you're realizing that this is not your 10 of Cups, whatever it is that you've been working on. Whatever the 9 of Wands is, you put in way too much energy, or you just didn't put in enough energy, and it's just not working out. And your ancestors are encouraging you to realize that sometimes we give and sometimes we rest. Sometimes we go out and we're slaying dragons, and sometimes we're at the crib and we're not doing anything. So I think that you are coming to this realization that there's other things that you could be doing with your time than whatever this is that's giving you a lot of strife. And you are looking for your own 10 of Cups. You're realizing that that's more important than whatever leaders I've been following, than whatever people I've been looking up to. And I need to be my own leader. I need to be my own, fire. I need to be my own independence and thought. And I'm going to take some time to myself and rejuvenate. So I wonder, you know what? I just got this rest deck. So again, I'm pulling extra cards for you. Don't tell everybody else. I'll be right back. I'm going to get that. Okay, let's just try to pull one without looking, because they have stuff written on both sides. Wait for some. 4 Meteor Magic number 4. Like this one. Okay, we got I will do less. What was I saying, guys? Watch me thrive. How can you access pleasure, joy, and liberation if you are too tired to experience them? Where can you create more space in your life? What can you say no to? Consider what rest has to offer you. It's time to slow down. It's time to thrive. Okay, well, I feel like that summed this reading up really well. But let's get another advice card from this deck. I love this deck. It's by Black Creator too. Ooh, okay. Okay. I'm going to do this one first because that came out first. I am safe. I trust my intuition to lead me down the right path. Looking back on my trials, I see that I am still here and thriving. I always end up better, stronger, and wiser. I have proven to myself that I will always make it time and time again. I am safe. I am resilient. If my mood wavers, it doesn't stay that way permanently. I allow myself to feel my feelings until I can refocus my thoughts on the positive. I do not judge myself for being human. I am resilient. So I wonder if the Chariot and the Eight of Discs came up because actually at your core, you are someone who embodies those things. You're someone who's always able to be resilient. You're someone who's always able to put in the time and dedication that you need to get what you want. But you've kind of lost touch with that side of yourself. And I hope that through some rest, my pile number 4s, you'll find that in yourself again because you got this. And you do have so many choices available to you. You're going to be great. Like, you're going to be fine. I feel like you guys are friends of mine. Like, my heart goes out to whatever is happening here. And I love you so much. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. If anything in this reading resonated for you, please consider giving me a like and subscribing to the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. If you chose pile number 5 with the very buttery rose quartz tower, then this is your group's reading. I really love this tower. It's so pretty, and I love how smooth it is. Not all rose quartz ends up being this, like, buttery. It might be because there's less rose quartz in it, but it does just look so beautiful. I love that. Rose quartz in general is a card that's meant to protect your heart, so maybe that's part of the reason that you have joined me in this reading. So let's look at the cards we have for you today. I'm going to put that one aside for now. This is the Black Queer Tarot by Kendrick Day. It is so beautiful. We have the 3 of Sticks. We have the Chariot, and we have Justice. Well, I have been reading this as the sort of issues that your ancestors went through that are coming up. So your collective trans ancestors are saying that they experienced some heartbreak. Or, let me take that back. I'm thinking of 3 of Swords. Your collective trans ancestors are saying that they wanted to look out for the future. They went through a lot of things in their life that they had to strive for. They felt like they always had to work, and that there was a lot of injustice that they had to deal with. Maybe your trans ancestors were here for trans rights. They were here for human rights. They were someone who experienced how badly people can be treated, or their people could be treated, whatever that meant to them. And they're someone who went through it. They experienced so many different layers of it, and they pushed through. They had the power to stand up and say that this isn't right. They had the power to keep going. And they had the vision that one day they would, see you or see other people in the future, and the world would be better for them. So I think that they're coming in with this really strong they're coming in with this really strong energy of activism and change, which I love. So let's keep going. What do we have here for you? The Fiddly Fig in a Room on Fire. I I also am reading right next to my own Fiddly Fig, which is not doing so hot. Well, this is such a dichotomy for what's happening right now. I'm next to a furnace. Here's the Fiddly Fig right next to it. It's not doing so hot because it's too dry and hot in here, and the humidifier is broken. But this isn't about me. So let's see how this could be representing you. You're someone who's trying to grow in a hostile environment, just like this Fiddly Fig next to me, and you also are tapping into the same energy of your ancestors for whatever's happening to you. You may not be into activism, but things are just not feeling very just for you. Like you were not set up for thriving in the best conditions. Maybe you're someone who didn't have a lot of parental support, monetarily or otherwise, and you're feeling like, you know, fuck, I was just thrown out here to suffer. Or, you know, maybe you're not feeling the support from people around you or the government or the environment. I mean, I think that there's so many of us experiencing oppression in different ways. And you could be like really feeling that in this moment. Or you're just someone who's aware of it in general. And, you know, we need people like that who can point it out and call it out. I'm going to move this up. And then I'm going to pull some more cards from this deck. Okay, I hope this is getting better. Sorry, it has such a fiery start. Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to take these two. Well, this is too many. Well, I saw this too, so we'll take it. Nice. Okay, well, I feel like just all these cards want to follow up for you, so let's do it. Let's go for it. At the bottom of the deck, I see the Eight of Wands in reverse. I'll take that too. Eight of Wands in reverse. I saw this guy. Reliability. We got resilience with the Nine of Wands. We have the Six of Wands with success. We have wealth in reverse. I mean, the Ace of Discs. We have perspective. I probably need to look up which card that aligns with. We have Five of Wands and the Moon. Okay, so we have a lot going on. Excuse me for a second while I look up what goes with that perspective card. Oh yeah, it's the Tower, I think. Just gonna let this run while I do this. Oh, it's not the Tower. Perspective. Okay, so we got a lot going on. When it comes to this, I saw at the bottom of your deck. So we got the Eight of Wands and movement. The Eight of Wands to me is often about rapid and clear communication. You have not been getting that. You haven't been seeing a lot of movement in general. You have the Six of Wands here and the Ace of Wands. I feel like these are connected I feel like these three are connected where you are just not seeing a lot of your own success. You're not feeling like you have a lot of opportunities for growing your wealth. You feel like the money isn't there like it should be. Um, but oh yeah, what is this one too? The Nine of Wands, resilience. I think that you've lately been feeling like you don't really want to do this anymore. So, I mean, going back to feeling like something trying to grow in a hostile environment, I think that your perspective on this and your intuition, the moon means more than that, but I'm just touching on this a little bit. You're feeling like this is not worth fighting for and getting through. You are someone who's extremely reliable, and you are someone who's able to kind of work through things, is my vibe. Like, you're able to make things happen in almost impossible situations. But you're also looking at this situation and you're like, I don't think this is worth it. I'm kind of feel stuck here. I don't feel like this is where I want to be in the long run. And the moon is often about what Jung calls a shadow self, or like the thoughts and feelings that you are not always cognizant or very aware of. The moon has more hopes and aspirations for the situation. Your perspective on this in general is really negative. Like, something may have recently come to like an end or a standstill. And you're like, what if I just push more? What if I just try harder? And you tried that and something happened, but you're also realizing it's not worth it. It's not really worth it anymore. You're not wanting to build success in this situation. You're not wanting to follow through on this situation. I feel like we need more cards because I don't know what's going on for you, but it sounds intense. I'm sorry. Let's see how we can push through. How can we grow? We got 2 cards. Let's get some more. Some fell over. Okay. Okay, well, it's actually a lot of cards. The 8 of Swords. You have been feeling more stuck than you actually are. The 8 of Swords is all about like this feeling inside of you that gives you this feeling of isolations, but the lesson of the card is that you're never isolated. We are never isolated. There's a activist that I love here in Detroit. I met her when she was older, like towards the end of her life. So she didn't have like, she was like in a wheelchair and she didn't talk that well, but she was an amazing woman, and she talked about Black Power. She fought for it here in Detroit. And she talked about community a lot and how you don't have to feel in community with people to be in community with them. That is the ever swimming force that we are in, like the ocean we swim in. It's something that we will always have, whether we feel it or not. We're never alone as long as we're here on Earth, because there are so many people here. So the isolation that you've been feeling lately has come from feeling stuck, I imagine. But you're not going to be stuck. You're never stuck for long as you remember that you're not alone. The Sun, there's something about the situation that is going to come out for you and feel just so rejuvenating. In the story of tarot, the Sun is the character that's going through the events of the major arcana. He just eventually reaches a place where he's about to give up. He's like over it. He's like, this is not worth it. I'm done. This is dumb. And then there's something that the sun rises, and there's something that comes up in this series of events that just fills him with so much more hope and inspiration and reliability. And I feel like you are in the precipice of finding that sun for yourself. There's something that's going to hit you like this that's going to really open up your mind, and you're going to start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The Knight of Chalices. I don't know, it might be a person that comes into your life that presents you with something that can fill your cup, or it could be you. You might be, you see yourself as the plant in the fire that's not going to thrive, but you could be the Knight of Cups. I think there's a reason it fell there on accident. I'm not like planning this out or anything. You see yourself as the Knight of Disc, the reliable, steady workhorse kind of person that's able to survive in hostile environments, that's able to take charge in hostile environments. But you could actually be the alluring Prince of Chalices, the person who's able to bring emotional fulfillment and who's able to allure people, bring them that glass of water in the desert, that person who's able to be the one who fills up cups, not the most active of princes, but the one that everyone loves because they're so radiant and they're so able to provide in a way that's more subtle than just fighting. If you are maybe someone who's more into that providing, like, quote unquote masculine ideal, uh, I think that we think of in reading tarot, we have this idea of masculine and feminine. It does not, it's metaphorical, does not relate to your personal gender. But maybe you were someone who thought that you had to overtly do something knight-like someone who had to come in on a horse and slay some dragons to be useful. But maybe you're not. Maybe you're the person that's in the background doing emotional support for people. Maybe you're the person who is able to be reassuring to people and not like do these like overt shows. Like if you have a partner or you want to have a partner, maybe you feel like your role needs to be the one who does all the like overt displays of affection or providing in this very overt way, but really you're someone who is your partner's rock because you have that great emotional response when they're going through something and you're able to reassure and encourage them. And like your role in like a greater scheme of things, beyond a relationship, could be more in that, like your talent could lie more in that sort of um emotional fulfillment that the cups are talking about. And that could be something you do for yourself too, like, hey, I haven't been set up with this and I felt like I always needed to fight. I haven't been set up in the right way to succeed and I feel like I've had to fight for everything I needed to fight for. But maybe at the moment fighting isn't the answer. Maybe it's just sitting there and filling your cup and thinking of things that make you happy, thinking of things that make you feel emotionally rejuvenated and spiritually rejuvenated. This is the Tower. It is all about foundations that you have been growing on top of that have been shitty. And I feel like we've been talking about this the whole time. Like, you're looking at that ground and you're like, I'm crumbling on this ground because this isn't the best place for anything to be built. Or, like with the plant, anything to grow. Like, I need to change my foundations. I need to change some of these beliefs so that I can build a stronger, more safer house on top of it, a safer tower on top of it. So I need to go back and do some reconstruction in how I'm addressing things, how I'm attempting to do things, and I need to change my perspective. I think that goes back to this too. On what I'm trying to do here, what I'm trying to build with my life. I have to go back to my foundational beliefs, the things that other people told me, the things I always thought were true. Maybe those things are wrong. Maybe those things are not going to be healthy for my longevity. So I want to go back and change them. Okay, and last we have the Knave of Chalices. Well, I just did so much talking on the Knight of Cups or the Knight of Chalices, and the Knave of Chalices is like kind of a step before that, like, well, maybe that's all it is that you have outgrown
the beginner stage of your emotional fulfillment. You are ready to advance on to being the knight. You haven't felt like this is something that's new for you anymore. You are now the person providing emotional fulfillment. Maybe people weren't able to teach you how to do that, but you're growing in a way where you can do it just fine. Okay, so let's give you some advice. I'm going to pull from this deck. I am focused, I am connected, and I'm discerning. Okay. I am focused on achieving my goals through deliberate actions. I take time to feel how it would feel to achieve my dreams. I visualize my desires through a lens of love and happiness. I am focused. I am connected. What was I saying? You can't make this shit up, man. You can't make it up when it says the same thing I said earlier. That's so funny. I am connected. I have more in common with others than I realize. I seek commonality with people rather than focusing on outward differences. I am connected. I am discerning. I love myself enough to say no to people in situations that don't serve my highest good. I am discerning. Whew. All right, my group number 4s. I'm sorry, my group number 5s. It's been a long day. I am so glad that you came to this reading and you picked this pile. I feel like you are a very powerful energy. You might even be like an activist yourself. And I think like one big thing that comes with so much action can be burnout. So knowing when to say no, being discerning, being focused, as well as enjoying that connection and community that you get from being active like that, I think will be really important to you moving forward for your own well-being. If anything in this reading connected with you in any way, please consider giving a like or subscribing. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.